The story of the British Empire begins with voyages into the unknown, where brave souls ventured into uncharted waters. Intrepid explorers, driven by a thirst for discovery and riches, set sail across the globe, navigating treacherous seas and unknown territories. These early expeditions, from the Americas to the East Indies, laid the foundation for British territorial claims and influence, mapping new lands and establishing initial contacts with indigenous peoples. The establishment of trading posts and settlements marked the first steps towards building a vast empire, creating footholds in strategic locations. The quest for resources and trade fueled further expansion, as merchants and adventurers sought new opportunities and wealth. The East India Company, chartered in 1600, became a powerful force in establishing British dominance in Asia, influencing trade and politics. Through shrewd negotiations and at times military force, the company gained control of vast territories and lucrative trade routes, particularly in India, shaping the region's future. The early colonial period saw the displacement of indigenous populations and the introduction of new agricultural practices and crops, transforming the economic and social landscapes of these regions, laying the groundwork for future colonial endeavors. The 18th century witnessed a turning point in British history and its imperial ambitions, the Industrial Revolution. This era marked a significant shift from agrarian economies to industrial powerhouses, fundamentally altering the social and economic fabric of the nation. Technological advancements, particularly in textile production and steam power, fueled unprecedented economic growth. Innovations like the spinning jenny and the steam engine revolutionized manufacturing processes, making production faster and more efficient. Factories sprang up across Britain, demanding raw materials and new markets for their manufactured goods. These factories became the heart of industrial towns, drawing in workers from rural areas and creating bustling urban centers. The British Empire, with its vast territories and resources, provided the perfect outlet for this burgeoning industrial might. The empire's extensive trade networks facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies across continents. The quest for raw materials like cotton, rubber, and tea drove further expansion of the empire. These commodities were essential for sustaining the industrial boom and meeting the growing demands of British factories. India, with its fertile lands and vast population, became a crucial source of cotton for British textile mills. The British established extensive plantations and relied heavily on local labor to meet their needs. The Caribbean islands, transformed by the introduction of sugarcane plantations, supplied sugar, a commodity in high demand in Europe. The labor-intensive nature of sugarcane cultivation also led to significant social and economic changes in the region. This period of rapid industrialization and expansion cemented Britain's position as a global superpower. The nation's influence extended far and wide, shaping the course of history and laying the foundations for the modern industrial world. The British Empire, at its peak, encompassed a quarter of the Earth's landmass and ruled over a diverse population spanning continents. This vast network was held together by a complex system of trade, governance, and infrastructure. British naval power ensured the safe passage of goods and people across the oceans, connecting the far-flung corners of the empire. The British administration implemented a system of governance that, while often criticized for its paternalistic approach, aimed to maintain order and stability across its colonies. Investments in infrastructure such as railways, canals, and telegraph lines further connected the empire, facilitating trade and communication. This interconnectedness fostered a global exchange of ideas, cultures, and technologies, leaving a lasting impact on the world. The narrative of the British Empire is not without its shadows. While it is often remembered for its vast reach and influence, the darker aspects of its history cannot be ignored. While it brought about advancements in infrastructure and governance, it also engaged in exploitation and imposed cultural changes that continue to spark debate today. The railways and roads, often hailed as symbols of progress, were built primarily to serve British economic interests. The empire's economic success was built on the backs of colonized people, who often faced forced labor, displacement from their lands, and suppression of their cultures. These laborers toiled under harsh conditions, with little regard for their well-being or rights. The introduction of the English language and British educational systems, while intended to modernize colonies, often came at the expense of indigenous languages and traditions. children were taught to value British culture over their own, leading to a loss of cultural heritage. This cultural imposition led to the erosion of local customs and identities, sparking resistance movements that challenged British rule. These movements were driven by a desire to reclaim cultural identity and autonomy. The fight for independence gained momentum in the 20th century, fueled by growing nationalist sentiments and the inherent contradictions of an empire built on the subjugation of others. The call for self-determination resonated across continents. The British Empire, once a symbol of global dominance, gradually began to unravel. The process of decolonization marked the end of an era as former colonies gained independence and took control of their own destinies. The end of World War II marked a turning point for the British Empire. The war had depleted Britain's resources and weakened its global standing. Simultaneously, independence movements across the colonies gained momentum, demanding self-determination and an end to colonial rule. India, the jewel in the crown of the British Empire, achieved independence in 1947, followed by a wave of decolonization across Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean. The once mighty empire transformed into the Commonwealth of Nations, a voluntary association of former colonies in Britain. While the sun had set on the British Empire in a political sense, its legacy continued to shape the world. The legacy of the British Empire is complex and multifaceted. Its impact can be seen in the modern world in various ways, from the widespread use of the English language to the legal and educational systems adopted by many former colonies. The architectural styles, sporting traditions, and even culinary influences of the British Empire are still evident in countries across the globe. The British Empire's impact on globalization, international trade, and the spread of democracy is undeniable. However, it is crucial to acknowledge the darker aspects of this history, including exploitation, cultural assimilation, and the lasting consequences of colonialism. Understanding this complex legacy is essential for navigating the challenges and opportunities of a globalized world. This exploration of the British Empire is just a glimpse into a vast and fascinating history. To delve deeper into the captivating stories, lasting impacts, and ongoing debates surrounding this period, subscribe to our channel and embark on a journey through time. Uncover the captivating stories, lasting impacts, and ongoing debates surrounding this period. Subscribe to our channel and embark on a journey through time.